Hey everyone, today I want to talk to you about a topic that I believe is on everyone's mind in America and probably in much of the world as well. And that topic is racism. And I believe that a lot of the fundamental problems we're having today with racism has to do with lack of trust and lack of transparency and open communication. For example, obviously, as you can probably see, unless you're listening and not watching, I am white. And because I'm white, and if you're black, you might assume white privilege, racist, doesn't like black people. And I can promise you with all of my heart and soul, it would be completely false to assume that I'm a racist, because I am not. Not only am I not a racist, but I have a lot of friends of all ethnicities, including a lot of friends who are white, and I don't know anyone that I believe is a racist. Now, if they are, they sure have it hidden well, because people that I know and who I associate with are not racist, and if they were, I wouldn't associate with them unless it's, the best kept secret. The white people that I know in my world are not racist, and some may be, and I just may not realize it, but I know my friends pretty well, and I don't believe it to be true. So in any case, I want black people of the world to realize, and I think you do, but I want to emphasize that please don't assume because someone's white that they're racist and that they don't like black people, don't trust black people, or anything like that. Because although there is what I believe a small percentage of white people are racist, and I think the percentage is very small, and unfortunately, that is what makes the headlines and reflects upon white people as a whole, as if all white people are racist. And really, it's not true. It's far from the truth. There are so many white people that are the opposite of that. And I think you see on the protests around the world, when you look at the protesters, there are plenty of white people that are mixed in with the protests, and they're actively involved in the peaceful protests around the world, not just in America. I think part of the problem is, when a black person looks at me and I'm white, they might immediately assume because I'm white certain things about me, and those might be false assumptions. And when I look at a black person, I might assume that that person hates me because I'm white and they think I'm racist, even though I'm not. I don't actually assume that. That's not the way I look at things. But I think overall around the world, that is happening. There are assumptions being made about race. There are assumptions being made about what's called white privilege. And some of those assumptions are really false. It is not really fair to assume that anyone that's white has white privilege. I know so many white people that have had some of the hardest, most just, they've been through immense misery throughout their childhood, throughout their adulthood, at every turn, crushed by society, crushed by just about everything you could imagine. And they've just been through everything horrible there is to experience in life, and they're still standing. And I certainly wouldn't think of people in that situation as having any type of privilege whatsoever. They've had, against adverse circumstances, managed to survive the world. But there are other people that I know that were born with that silver spoon, and they're quite wealthy and have never had to worry about anything in their lives. And I guess you can say white privilege, but I also have friends who are black that are quite wealthy, that were born with wealth and have never had to worry about money in their lives. And, but then there's the element of law enforcement. Now, that's not the fault of, I'm not personally responsible for what a white police officer does somewhere. I don't want to be part of the problem, and that's why I clearly advocate on my channel against racism and against police officers who are abusing their power, and advocate for justice for the victims of racist police officers who are abusing their power. And not only racist police officers, people in authority of any type who are abusing their power and who are victimizing citizens regardless of race, as well as those who are doing it because of race. So clearly that is my position. But overall, I think that what is needed at this point is not talking about police versus citizens here, but just talking about person versus person. And let's take out the verses. Humanity overall, I think we need to give each other the benefit of the doubt. When a black man looks at a white man, please don't assume that that man is racist and has white privilege automatically. Give them the benefit of the doubt that they are a potential friend that they are a potential ally and not that they're a potential racist or a potential enemy. And white people of the world, when you look at a black person, please don't assume that they hate you because you're white, that they look down on you because they think you've lived a privileged life at every turn, when you know that you've worked so hard since childhood until now and been through everything imaginable. I think we need to drop these assumptions. Now, is there such a thing as white privilege? I don't know, because I'm white. There very well could be, and I may not be aware of it in certain small ways. There could be things that have happened in my life based on me being white, and I don't think so, but it's very possible it's true. I guess, how would I know because I'm white? The only way I would know is I need to sit down with people of all ethnicities and talk this through and think about this and analyze this and come up with solutions. Because I guarantee if I realized that I was given some special favoritism somewhere, I would certainly say it. I've been in situations, for example, I've been in banks, in long lines in banks, in situations where I'm the only white person in there. And there are people of different ethnicity, not black people, different ethnicity who are in the bank, for example. And I walk in and I go up to the counter and they fill out the deposit slip for me, and they're giving me kind of preferential treatment, whereas someone of another ethnicity who's at the counter next to me, they're sending them back to the table in the back of the bank to fill out the deposit slip on their own, and then get back in line and queue up again and stand in line again, which is ridiculous. And when I saw that, I immediately said something about that. I made a scene about it because it was completely ridiculous and unfair. So I don't want favoritism. I don't want special treatment. What I really want is for everybody to receive preferential treatment. Nobody should have to fill out the deposit slip and go to the back of the line again. It doesn't matter whether you're any ethnicity. Everyone should have the same treatment, but everyone should be treated with a preferential basis, not some people given preferred status and others not. So I've seen that happen throughout travels with other ethnicities, not with people that are black versus white. But in that case, I would say that I was being given, maybe it's called foreigner privilege, because I was not from that country. Perhaps I was given some type of privilege because I'm a foreigner and I just happen to be white, or maybe that was white privilege. So perhaps I have experienced it. And I said something about it, and I made a scene that the manager heard. It was a peaceful scene, but I did make it very vocal that, how unfair that was. And I was able to have that other person be able to get help with their deposit slip and not having to queue up again. So I won't stand for that myself, but if there's no communication and transparency, how do I even know this? And there are plenty of white people around the world that also, they don't want to receive preferential treatment because they're white. They want everybody to receive the same treatment. They don't want preferred status because of their ethnicity or religion or color. I certainly don't. And there are probably some that do, and there are racists out there for sure. But I think it's a very small fraction of white people that are racist, but there are some that are, no doubt about it. So bottom line, what I'm saying is this: when a white person walks into a room full of black people, and the black people look at the white person and think, is that guy racist? And the white person looks at the black people and thinks, do those guys hate me because I'm white? There's this assumption that's killing us, where we're assuming the worst in people. And by assuming the worst in people, we're setting ourselves up for failure right off the bat. I really believe we need to give each other the benefit of the doubt, give each other some trust, and have some open dialogue, and not just assume because a person is a different religion or a different ethnicity or black or white, anything, but just open slate. I have friends of all religions, and it doesn't matter to me what their religion is. They may have no religion. They may have any religion, and that's fine. We can still be friends. I don't assume based on their religion, based on the color of their skin, based on their ethnicity, anything. What I assume is based on their actions. But if people around me assume that I'm bad because I'm white, there's already a divide between us. And if I assume someone's bad because of anything, their religion or their ethnicity or the color of their skin, there's a divide between us. And if I assume that people hate me because I'm white, I'm creating this divide that can't be overcome. So the point of this is, really what I'm trying to say is let's trust each other. Let's give each other the benefit of the doubt. This is not about law enforcement. This is about people. The other problem is this: if you go through your life with everybody assuming because you're white, you don't like black people. If you grow up with that, eventually you're getting a cold shoulder, you're getting a negative vibe, you're getting the impression from black people as if, you know, they don't trust you and they don't like you because you're white, and it's creating a divide. And if white people go through life assuming black people hate them because they're white and assume they're racist, and it's creating this evolution of your personality in a way where you're steering clear of each other and you're not trusting each other, and walls are being built. And it's really time to tear down those walls. It's time to just open things up. Let's assume that we can all be friends, and we may not all get along and we don't all have to be friends, but whether we can be friends or be equals in collaborating together to solve problems is not based on religion or race. It's just based on if we're able to communicate as human beings together or not. So that's really the point of this episode. And I would love that to happen. I would love this channel to be a place where that can happen. I would really appreciate any comments from people of any religious or ethnic backgrounds to post comments and share open feelings, not anything about hatred, but please just collaboration amongst people, questions and answers. And it doesn't need to be on this channel. It can be anywhere digitally, but ultimately I believe it should also be physically in person. You know, we need opportunities to talk with each other, and we should do it in our own lives. People that you know, friends that you have, if you're white, friends you have that are black, if you're black, friends you have that are white, you know, why not talk about race? Why not talk about things that you're noticing? And maybe you already do, and if so, congratulations for doing that. But I think a lot of people, I have a lot of friends who are black, and we don't seem to talk about racial issues. And I think it's time to start. Like, let's talk it through and make sure we're all on the same page. And if more people do that, we need to fix law enforcement in America and probably around the world, and ensure that there isn't discrimination, which obviously, as we've seen on video, there is, and assume that there is an abuse of power, which also we've seen that there is, and fix those things in the United States criminal justice system and elsewhere. There are problems as well, of course. We need to fix those issues. But as a foundation of fixing those issues, we need to be united as humanity. We need to come together as humanity and realize that, you know, let's trust each other. Let's remove some walls. Let's assume that, you know, someone of a different religion or different ethnicity can be a friend, and give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's not assume they hate us because of our color. They don't trust us because of our color. And I'm talking on both sides, because I have plenty of circumstances where I go into and I can tell that because I'm white, people are looking at me in a peculiar, different way, as if I just don't fit in and shouldn't be there. And I feel that, you know, I'm among the group. I'm one of the people. I don't feel like an outsider, but I do feel like that when everyone kind of gives me a strange look, as if you're in the wrong place, you know, and it shouldn't be like that. And by the same token, when someone of a different ethnicity walks into a room full of white people, they shouldn't feel like, you know, they're in the wrong place, and the white people shouldn't look at them as if they are either. So we've got to fix these things. And I don't think it's because of people being racist that's happening in a lot of cases. I think it's based on just some assumptions that, you know, people don't like you. So just like in school growing up, if you know that, you know, if you're in a group of the very studious people that are always doing your homework and you're getting straight A's, and you walk into a room with all of the varsity athletes, and they look at you like, oh, that's the bookworm, and you look at them like, oh, those are the you know, the athlete guys, you're like in the wrong room. And so there's kind of this divide there that could be the subject of another discussion, and it's hard to fix what happens in you know, in high school, because all kinds of crazy stuff goes on there. But it starts there. There's a divide. People are categorized in different groups that don't get along with each other. But it should never be based on religion or race. And really, it should just be based on people coming together and, you know, do I have something in common with this person? Let's talk. Let's, you know, we can be friends, or we can at least be communicators together openly. So that's it for this episode. If you'd like to support the channel, please click subscribe, click the bell, click all for notifications. And I look forward to some collaboration and discussion. I sure hope we have some comments. Thank you so much for joining this episode. Take care.